ELI 5. Why do older PC game discs have a hard time running on modern computers? Like some gamers, I have a cache of CDs from the late 90s and early 2000s, Warcraft, Quake, Diablo, etc., that do not run on modern computers. What is the technical reasons for those discs being unable to run on a present-day computer? Was this intentional, some new feature of Windows that someone knew would render older game discs unusable? Or more accidental? The ELI 5 answer is that those games were written for older operating systems, and a lot of the supporting components and technologies have seen significant changes or been entirely removed. Many older games were written for a 32-bit operating system, versus a modern 64-bit one, for example. Many games will work in compatibility mode though, although some will experience glitches and crashing. Very old video games, like those from the 80s, might even have been written for a specific processor speed like 8 MHz. They didn't use a timer to synchronize things like movement, so on a modern CPU the game runs, but over 1000 the normal speed. GOG as an example gets around these problems by packaging games with missing components, or running them on emulators like DOSBox that simulates a DOS environment for software. Some games though work just fine on modern OS. Mech Commander, for example, works perfectly on a modern OS despite being from 1998. The developers did a pretty great job programming that game for future compatibility. Whether that was deliberate, or just by luck, we don't know. Very old video games, like those from the 80s, might even have been written for a specific processor speed like 8 MHz. They didn't use a timer to synchronize things like movement, so on a modern CPU the game runs, but over 1000 the normal speed. A great example of that is the original Space Invaders. The aliens increasing in speed as you eliminated them was not something programmed into the game. It was merely the result of the arcade hardware struggling to process that many sprites at once. As you eliminated aliens, there were fewer sprites to process and the game ran faster. I believe the lead programmer was vexed by this, because it was not his intention, but others who tried the game told him that the gradual increase in speed made the game much more enjoyable.